Our next guests are performing tomorrow night. They're in Quakertown. They are going to be playing at the Univest Performance Center, and it's part of the Sounds of Summer concert series in Quakertown. And we've been playing their latest song, Deep. We played a lot of songs from this band throughout the years. Please welcome to our studio this morning, Black Stone Cherry.
Thank you.
How you doing?
Gentlemen, nice to see you. So we have Chris, Ben, Steve, and John Fred. Not John. You can't
the
call
man
him
with
Fred,
two first names,
but it's got to be
John Fred.
John Fred.
All right.
Right.
The Fred has to be in there somewhere.
Most definitely. Thank you guys for being here. We appreciate it. You've been to Philly before, right?
Yes.
Yeah, many times. But has it been a little while since you've been through town?
It's been too long.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
I'll
been
tell you
entirely
that.
too long.
Yeah, we were in. We used to do Philadelphia all the time.
Electric Factory?
Electric Factory years ago, but then we started hitting up everywhere else other than. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We would go to Hershey or we would go to Allentown, and we would play all those different places. So it feels good to be back here properly.
Nice.
Yeah, well, you know, we're so it's you sit and I'll be honest in one of those places like I know those guys, but do I really know those guys? And songs would pop up, and we were preparing for this. I'm like. And I was saying to Preston, you have kind of this interesting, almost Hendrix-esque, like in Europe, in London, in England, you have a huge a fan base, a huge following. You've played Royal Albert Hall, you've played massive venues, and you'll still go do smaller venues. And is that to keep everything pure, to keep it real, or just by the necessity of things? Because you have this large fan base. And you give them all different ways to see you.
I think we do it as a choice. You know, I mean, obviously, you got to sell the tickets wherever you go.
Right.
You know, but for us, you know, we've been very fortunate over there that we've been able to get to like an arena level, success level, you know, when we do the UK and stuff. But we really enjoy going back and playing the venues that we kind of started out in over there, or that we were kind of at our breaking point in over there, you know, the theaters, things like that. And it's just a lot of fun to go back and do those rooms. I mean, we've got a tour on sale now that's sold out about half the dates or so
I think
far.
maybe even more. I think it's like 80% sold. It's crazy, and it's a testament to what our fans love, I think, about when we come over there is we give them, like you said, we give them different opportunities to see us in different settings.
Can that provide an opportunity for you also to workshop things?
Sure.
You know?
Yeah, you can play songs there that maybe... You could play songs in a theater or a club setting that might not go in an arena setting. You know,
Right,
you can do some
right.
deeper cuts there or something like that can go over great there. So we're just as excited about it as they are, I think.
I thought it's wild. I'm sorry, Case. That and reading about initially in the early stages, you had this EP that came out, and when you were first signed, it seemed to be more on the strength of what you would do on stage. Like you blew the company away. Who signed you first?
So we were a Roadrunner first.
Okay, and was it a lot of that just predicated on your active and loyal fan base coming to see your shows and what you were doing on stage?
I mean, it was really, we would go out and play with whoever would let us. I mean, there were weeks that we would open for Grand Funk Railroad and Anthrax in the same week.
Wow.
And like
Wow.
one of the shows, 1 week of shows, no joke, we went up to Michigan and did a couple shows with Grand Funk. And then we come back to Louisville and we got thrown on a bill. We replaced Deicide, and the bill was us, Zeke, and Superjoint Ritual.
Okay.
I don't know any.
I don't know those
Yeah, well, let me give I was like, if you're not familiar with those bands, this is a very, very metal show.
Okay.
And they're, like the fans are hardcore. Like if you're not metal, like we walked on stage and maybe one of us had I think probably I might have had a cowboy hat on. They were like, "What is this, Leonard Skinner? Get off the stage!" We're like, oh Lord,
Like, this is going to be
do
amazing.
not belong here.
But no, yeah, I mean,
But we did it.
We built our whole career off of playing live shows. You know, I mean, all our favorite bands growing up as kids, they were out there on the road, you know, 200 days a year more playing live concerts, and that's how they built everything. You look at Zeppelin, you look at Skinner, ZZ Top.
These are all influences of yours. So you're and you focus in a lot. If you're talking about the 80s, you guys are all born in the 80s, right?
Yeah.
But you're...
Well, except for Steve.
Okay.
He's a 90s kid.
All right.
That's right, baby.
But all your influence... He's the youngin'. all your influences are sitting squarely in the 70s. You know, in those Cream and all those bands.
Yeah, a big part of it, man. Yeah, and I think that goes back to the practice house where we, kind of originated the band, and we wrote a lot of the first earlier records and stuff. The walls were just covered in old records.
Yeah,
it was, and that was for insulation because there were slat walls in the old practice house. So when the Headhunters were in there as a band called Itchy Brother in the 60s and 70s, people used to put up newspapers back in the South in the, the old kind of shack farmhouses to help keep the wind out. But they put up record covers because they had them around. So they would just take those and hang them up. So you had, Mountain and the Yardbirds and Cream and all these bands that, in 1998 when we were first going down there and up to 2001, that you weren't going to hear that, as a kid in modern society unless you were listening to a classic station or something. And when you see that, you kind of want to figure out who it is. Then, you go home and go through Dad's record collection and you find the Mountain records and
that's wild.
All that. And it just kind of sends you on a path, man.
Yeah.
Chris, I know you guys are all native Kentuckians, especially since you said Louisville correctly instead of Louisville.
Yes, sir.
My family's from Lexington. So,
right on.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But being from a smaller town in Edmonton, are you guys all from there? Did you grow up there?
Me and John Fred are from Edmonton.
Okay.
Ben's Glasgow, and Steve's from Horse Cave.
Horse Cave.
Horse Cave.
That's right.
It's the K. Yeah.
Is that out in the holler somewhere? Or what?
Yeah.
You could say that.
Eastern?
We have a lot of caves. Caves back. Cave systems back home.
Edmonton's not too far from Mammoth Cave, which I've been to.
So that's
Horse
essentially where I
Cave's
grew
actually-
up
Horse
at.
Cave.
That area.
closer.
Mammoth
Yeah,
Cave.
that's
Okay.
right. That's right there in Cave Country, we call it.
Yeah.
So
We're all
basically, you got
we're within 20 minutes of each other. We're, Edmonton, Glasgow, Horse Cave.
Okay.
We're all in this little circle. It doesn't take long to get to each
Growing
town.
up, we probably had like more cows than people.
Than people,
in some of
yeah.
these towns.
Yeah, where the men are men, women are women, and cows are scared, sheep are scared.
Not in Kentucky.
And not Kentucky. No, but also Bowling Green's not too far away. Cagey Elephant's from Bowling Green. You guys friends with them, or have you?
I actually don't know them.
No kidding.
I've never
Been
met
around
any of
them
the
a few
dudes. I dig some of their stuff,
Yeah.
and obviously they've been massively successful. Super happy for them. But dude, where I live like. Okay, so Edmonton is like 2,000 people or less, and I don't even live in town there. Me and John Fred both live like out in the country there. And dude, I don't go to Bowling Green unless my wife's like, "Hey, let's go to Bowling Green." So I don't know anybody. I don't know half the people that live in Edmonton, and it's 2,000 people.
Let me ask, because you listening to an interview with you, you guys were talking about how you stay together as a band, and you were bemoaning, or at least not being. You were looking at other bands that get into these fights and these long-term things, and and brothers against brothers and so on and so forth. And you have a kind of what is the ego? Family first, ego last.
Sure.
That's right.
And that, you think that's the thing that's kept you back? Obviously, you live in proximity to each other. Is that the thing that ties you together, that keeps your head on straight?
Oh, we'll be fighting tomorrow because the Cubs play the Reds. So
Yeah, it's gonna
we're a
be-
divided
it's gonna be
bus. I'm the
bad.
lonely Cubs fan.
We've always said in the sports reference too, we all wear the same jersey out here. Nobody is above anybody or anything like that, and we all want the same goal. And even if there is an argument, the most important thing about an argument is the hug after it's over with. Because if you leave that hug lingering or the apology lingering, then that leaves unresolved issues. So with us, we love each other. And I saw a great interview too with the singer from the Red Clay Strays, and he was talking about the same thing. I think he was on Joe Rogan, and he was like, here's how bands stay together. He said, you have to look out for the next guy. He said, he gave an example that when they used to sleep in hotel rooms, they would all argue. If there was just one bed and there were 6 of them, they would all argue on which one was going to sleep on the floor because they didn't want to be the one that says, well, I'm taking the bed,
Yeah.
And that's a great mentality to have. Is like, you don't want to have that, I'm getting the bed, I'm the star, It's like, no, you take it. So I think
It's a marriage.
that's the mentality I think you have to have. And, it's a family, and we're all in this together.
That makes sense.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, we want to chat some more, but we also want to get some music. What do you guys feel like playing first? We're going to get a couple songs this morning.
Do you want to go ahead and do Deep first?
Yeah.
All right. Deep is the song that we've been playing. We just played it the other day. It's a new song. This is on the EP as well, Celebrate?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Excellent.
Yes, sir.
Well, let's check this out. This is Black Stone Cherry on MMR.
Laugh laugh and takes the pain away. There's no humor here today. The cruelest joke to ever play. Raise my hopes and watch them fade. I'm not saying that I'm giving up, but nothing hurts like love. I need a little help. I need some type of strength, some relief. I've been living on my knees, begging for some light, some clarity. Give me a rope, or give me an anchor. Give me some air that I can breathe. I've been living on my knees, 'cause it's starting to get too deep for me. It's like a void I'm living in. No sign of life, no other end. I know to pray and say amen. Tuesday came, I made amends. I know we wish for something more. It feels so different than before. And if tomorrow never showed, you'd always be the one I chose. You know I'm never gonna give you up, 'cause nothing heals like love. I need a little help. I need some type of strength, some relief. I've been living on my knees, begging for some light, some clarity. Give me a rope, or give me an anchor. Give me some air that I can breathe. I've been living on my knees, and it's starting to get too deep for me. I need a little help. I need some type of strength, some relief. I've been living on my knees, begging for some light, some clarity. Give me a rope, give me an anchor. Give me some air that I can breathe. I've been living on my knees, 'cause it's starting to get too deep for me.
Right, Blackstone Cherry. The song
great sound.
Deep, 93.3 WMMR, the plan tomorrow night in Quakertown, the Univest Performance Center. I just got a text from somebody that says, it says, just saw these guys playing with Shinedown a few weeks ago in Hershey.
Nice.
They were awesome. Won't be disappointed. Very high energy band. That's from Rich, who's working in Devon. So
Thank you, Rich. Ben will send you a check.
there it is. There it is. It says high energy. What does that mean? Does that mean moving around a lot? Sweating on stage? What do you?
It's our rock and roll cardio, baby. That's what I
There is a
call it.
lot of movement up there. You know, it's like.
You're like the bouncer. We're all old enough to remember here, but back in the day on TV, like, you know, on sing-alongs, you'd have like the little bouncing
ball, yeah.
That's been on stage. It just never stops. It bounces. It
Steve
bounces.
and I
it
do
bounces.
get our steps in across the stage.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
like
it's
it,
a
but that's
workout.
how we get it done.
You guys look like you might be the skinniest ones in the band. So maybe
Oh, I'm
that's-
definitely not me. No, I stay planted at the microphone. That's why I have the extra weight a little bit. I blame
It's
it
a
on that
bass.
anyways.
You got
right.
the extra bass.
Helps the guitar race. And by the way, speaking of that guitar, it's seen some miles that you're
dude,
playing there.
Oh, yeah.
I love this guitar. I found this at a little local shop back home called Cumberland Guitars. I walked in looking at electric guitars because I'm just not very good with an acoustic. But I saw this one on the wall, and I played about 3 chords on it and bought it. and it's got a big crack down the front, and I'm so afraid to fix it because I'm afraid it's going to sound different.
Sound different. I've heard
leave it
that.
alone.
You know, I once saw a it was an article about Willie Nelson's guitar. I forgot the name of it. Trigger, yeah.
Sorry. Trigger.
And
we know.
but you know, he's the same way. And that thing is hanging on by a thread.
Oh, that thing has got hanging on by hopes and
But
dreams.
honestly,
It's
though,
unbelievable.
if he were to replace or put a piece of wood in that hole,
wouldn't
the
be the
whole
same.
acoustic character of that guitar would change.
He does have it. He does get it tuned up. He takes it to a very specific technician who, like, just barely. He does the bare minimum just to make sure that thing hangs on.
That's your bread and butter. Ben, didn't your grandfather build guitars?
That was
Oh, that
me.
was
Was that
Chris's
you?
grandfather.
Chris' grandfather?
Yeah.
So, and you all have sort of rock in your family.
Yeah, John Fred, your parents were in Kentucky Headhunters, right? Or some of your
Yes, sir,
dad?
that's right.
Yeah. So does everybody have a connection?
Who all your parents that have been in rock bands or rocked out?
Well, my dad, he played music up until he passed away, just locally back home. But my grandpa,
like cover bands and stuff?
yeah, cover band stuff, doing country. My dad played mainly country and kind of southern rock stuff. I guess that's where I get it from.
Right.
But he did that my whole life. And then my grandpa built guitars, mandolins, and fiddles.
Wow.
We call them fiddles where we're from.
Sure, yeah.
But he built those by hand. And that's just, I've always been around music. You know, obviously John Fred's dad and uncle in the Kentucky Headhunters, and Itchy brother before that. Steve's dad plays guitars, played music his whole life.
Okay.
That's pretty wild. 'cause
Ben's kind of like the lone wolf. He's the
the breakout.
performer of the family.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
I grew up
exception.
in the theaters and stuff like that.
Okay,
My sister
all
and I
right.
did a lot of public theater growing up. So there was some performance aspect of why I loved doing it, but nobody else in my family really played an instrument, you know? Not like seriously anyway.
Right.
You know, so-
They just saved all that family talent for you, huh?
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, God,
they
saved
raised
up.
me on Elvis, so that's
Hey,
good.
we're going to bring in a guest. Our buddy Jacky Bam Bam, Nights here at MMR, wanted to just jump on Casey's mic here. He wanted to jump in on the interview, right?
Yeah, guys, great to have you aboard here.
Thank you.
As a matter of fact, you just mentioned, Steve, Kentucky Headhunters. That's why I want to jump in. John Fred, I got to give the drummer some love. I believe it was your uncle's birthday last night. I saluted him.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
it was.
played
Thank you
Dumas
very
Walker.
much.
Just an amazing song. And I wanted to ask you, they did a great album with Chuck Berry's piano player, Johnny Johnson. He was in.
sir.
They cut it in like 12 days. Did they cut that? Well, you guys share the same rehearsal hall, correct?
Dude, we were. Go ahead.
No, so great album. They, my dad and my uncle both play in the Kentucky Headhunters, and Chris is talking about the practice house. When we were kids, they let us go into the practice house and rehearse. So I remember. I guess that album came out probably 94, 95. It's called That'll Work. Yeah. And so Johnny was Chuck Berry's piano player, and the Headhunters did a whole record with him, and they toured some together too. He went on the road with them. But yeah, I mean,
just to be clear, Johnny wasn't just Chuck's piano player. He was the sound of Chuck Berry to a large degree. That's why all Chuck's songs are in weird keys and stuff.
And shaping rock and roll as we have it today.
It's pretty amazing.
Johnny Johnson.
This is a cool
Johnny. He discovered him.
100%. This is a cool Johnny Johnson story, and you'll like this. The Headhunters were recording an album called Soul, I believe it was, and they had Johnny come in. They flew him in to play some tracks on the album. Well, they were in the studio, so Richard, John Fred's dad, had called us and said, hey, Johnny's ready to go back to the hotel, but we've got to still stay in the studio. Do you all mind to take him? And we said, absolutely. We'll drive Johnny Johnson to the hotel. So he's sitting in the front seat, my Ford Explorer, my little Ford Explorer. The windows wouldn't roll down because it was broke. And we're like, hey, Mr. Johnson, it's an honor to meet you, you know. And he's like, thanks. And he said, where are you going after this? And he said, well, I got to fly back home. He goes, 2 nights ago, I was playing with the Rolling Stones. He goes, and then I got to meet them again for another show in New Jersey in 2 days. And I'm like, I'm driving him to a Comfort Inn in Glasgow, Kentucky in my Explorer. And he's talking about playing with the Rolling Stones in 2 days. I'm like, this is unbelievable.
Listen, he probably saw Chuck Berry poop on a hooker or something at one point.
I hope
the
so.
dude has seen and done a lot.
There's a lot of stuff,
dude,
Chuck Berry.
But it was amazing because, you know, the Headhunters have always been so inviting to us. When they were recording that stuff, I think maybe a song or two ended up on the thing, that the record that came out. but they were recording one record, and they ended up recording they just went. And we were sitting in there in the control room, man, just listening to them live track. I remember they tracked Have You Ever Loved a Woman for the Soul record, and one other song while we were in the control room, and just hearing Johnny one take it. Just they start the song, he mixes himself, he played in and out, man. Like
and you got to think too, we were like 18, 19 years old.
Yeah,
then.
getting to watch Johnny Johnson cut live tracks. You know what I mean? Like,
Did you have a Tangeray with him?
No, dude, we were,
I think we were just nervous to shake his hand.
Yeah, dude, we were just sitting back there going, "Oh my God, this is one of the godfathers of rock and roll," and we're watching him do his thing live right now.
That's humbling. You guys have been on. You've toured with a number of luminaries in rock, and you were relaying a story about. Early on, Def Leppard was very accommodating to you and kind. You've had seemingly a good run with Motorhead. You toured with Motorhead. All of these bands, it's good that they help shape your perception of how to be a rock band touring with other bands.
100%. I think a lot of it goes to radio. To give credit because, back in the day, obviously pre-internet and all that, and where we grew up at in Kentucky, years ago, we would get radio stations coming out of Chicago and, of course, Nashville. And then in our area, we grew up with so much rock, southern rock, country, bluegrass, you name it, that you just hear those influences. And you were talking about, bands that come out of Kentucky. There's us and Cage the Elephant and Knocked Loose, which is a really hot metal band right now from Louisville, and My Morning Jacket, and Chris Stapleton, Tyler Childers, Dwight Yoakam, the Judds, Headhunters. It just keeps kind of going, right? So that's what's kind of cool about being geographically where we're from.
Yeah.
We've just gotten hit with credit to the radio, thank God, over the years of so much music that it just naturally kind of comes out in your music, your influences, without kind of realizing it. And then fast forward, it kind of opens that door to where a band like us can tour with Anthrax and then do a show with a country guy like Brantley Gilbert or Nickelback, which was bands toured with, and then Leonard Skinner and ZZ Top.
You did Whitesnake too, right?
Yeah, Whitesnake.
That's pretty
Def
wild.
Leppard.
Yeah.
Will you guys tailor your set list to what crowd you're playing for?
To some degree.
Okay.
Yeah. We try to do the stuff that is, the core of who we are, but then, the songs that you can kind of mess with here and there, we'll kind of shape those around who we're playing with some.
When we have bands come in, a lot of texts come in, people will request songs, and somebody had mentioned, and I don't know this, do you do a cover of Rolling in the Deep?
We did.
We used to do one of those.
Okay, because somebody was like, that your version is amazing, and they had only heard it live or something.
I think that's the only version out there is a live version. We never properly recorded it. We were overseas on tour. That song had just come out. And,
that's the Adele song,
the Adele
right?
song, that's right. And
well, that's eclectic,
yeah. We're like, let's do it. So we debuted it actually at the Download Festival in the UK in front of probably 65,000 people. We never played this song. We're like, we'll give it a go. And then that kind of live version kind of took off on its own. So, but then it became overcovered a little bit because we talked about, do we want to do a studio version of this? And maybe someday, but at that time, everybody started doing that song. And we're like, okay, we had ours. We don't want to just, make it oversaturated.
Do you cover Simple Minds on Celebration?
We did do Simple Minds.
Yeah, Don't You Forget About Me?
Yes.
Who brought that in? Who said, I want to do this?
That would have been me.
Yeah.
And I had mentioned...
Are you a Breakfast Club fan?
Yeah, dude. The movie came out the year I was born. It was 85.
Yeah.
But childhood, man, I remember vividly seeing that movie when I was really, really young. And the two things that stuck with me were that song and that fist pump at the end, man. It was just that sense of achievement.
That's Preston's favorite movie, yeah.
We
were fortunate enough to have Tyler from Theory of a Dead Man.
But that song, it just stuck with me from childhood. And then we were playing a festival, I want to think, in Switzerland one time, and Simple Minds headlined it. And, there was a VIP section for the bands to go hang and stuff. And, dude... when that song hit, I was in the middle of the crowd, fist in the air, singing every word. It was unreal.
Now, how did you feel when that song came up at the end of Pitch Perfect? It had to have just... Did you see the movie Pitch Perfect?
It's been so long, but I don't even remember that part, man.
Man.
When I think about that song, I just think about you know.
But what we did here, and this was super cool, during the College World Series Classic this year, they played our version of "Don't You Forget About Me" a lot.
Yeah.
Commercial
Really?
breaks going in,
A
going
lot
out,
of
and
people were
stuff. So that
texting
was
us
super
that
cool.
saying, "This is y'all, right?" You know, yeah, it's us.
That's
It's us.
cool.
It was cool.
Nice. All right, well, we're ready for another song. If you guys wouldn't mind playing
Yeah,
one,
we'll
what
do
we're going to
one
hear
more
this
for you.
time, Chris?
We'll go back to our third record, Between the Devil and a Deep Blue Sea, and do a song, man, that some people may not even know we wrote.
Okay.
So we got very fortunate that a couple years after we released it, there was a band called Florida Georgia Line, country band that was massive. And they did a version of this next song. They had actually previously covered one of our other songs. Lo and behold, they get in the studio. They're looking for another ballad, and they wanted to do this song. So this is a song we wrote on Between the Devil and the Deep Blue Sea. Florida Georgia Line took it, had like a 5-week #1 at country with it. So
Nice.
we're grateful.
Oh, totally.
But this is an old song of ours called "Stay."
All right, this is Blackstone Cherry on MMR.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I'd sell my soul just to see your face, and I'd break my bones just to heal your pain. And in these times I need a saving grace. This time is running out, and I'm starting to lose my faith. But if I told you I loved you, would it make you wanna stay? I'm sorry for the way I make you feel day after day. If I wrote you a love song, sang it to you every day, would it ever be enough to make you wanna come back home to stay? Or would it make you wanna stay? My heart's on my sleeve, but it's turning play. And without your touch, I'm not gonna live. Feel like my walls are caving in, and I'd do anything to have you here again. If I told you I love you, would it make you wanna stay? I'm sorry for the way I make you feel day after day. If I wrote you a love song, sang it to you every day, would it ever be enough to make you wanna come back home to stay? My days are cold, the nights are long, and I can't stand to be alone. Please know this is not your fault, and all I want is to tell you I love you and make you wanna stay. I'm sorry for the way I make you feel day after day. I wanna write you a love song, sing it to you every day. Would it ever be enough to make you wanna come back home to stay? Or would it make you wanna stay? I'm sorry for my way. Make you wanna stay. Would it ever be enough? Wanna stay.
Yeah. Man, oh, man. Blackstone Cherry on 93.3 WMMR playing Quakertown tomorrow night at Univest Performance Center. Show is at 8 o'clock. When Florida Georgia Line covered that, did they reach out to you guys ahead of time and ask for permission and go through that route, or did they just do it?
Yeah, they we met them when they were just writing songs in Nashville as a duo, just starting out. They were actually detailing cars on the side, is what they were doing. And when we first went down to write with them for other people, they had said, "Man, we love that album. We love that song, Stay." And we said, "Well, thank you guys." And they said, so another artist was gonna maybe possibly cut the song at the time, and they said, "If that guy doesn't do that song, we're gonna put it on our debut album." And I was like, "Cool, that'd be great." It's lip service. It's okay.
Right.
When your debut album comes out, we'll talk. Okay.
Yeah.
And then they get signed and they start touring, and then they put out an album, and then we got a notification from their manager and said, "Hey, they're going to cut the track." And we're like, "Oh, we're honored." And then I remember we were on tour, and their manager messaged me and said, "Hey, this is going to be the next single." And
this is like right at the height of Cruise when that song was just the biggest thing in music.
They blew up.
We get a message saying, "Hey, your song's going to be single 3 off the record," or whatever it was. We're like, "Oh my God!"
Yeah,
it was just so crazy how they took over.
Nothing but joy about that news, or you just
absolutely
Okay.
Absolutely.
I think as songwriters, anytime a lot of people are like, you get a lot of people, "Why'd you let them do that?" It's like,
First
Why
of all,
not? Why not? I mean, listen,
it's an honor.
You end up on the radar, and I have to ask, did that cause a sort of focus on you guys? Because a lot of artists who we know, as you say, for their own body of work, we're friends with the guys from the Hooters, good friends who they've written for many other artists and gotten hits for many other artists. So were people coming to you after that clicked saying, "What do you got for me?"
There was a couple of times where we got hit up saying, "Hey, do y'all have anything else similar? Whatnot." And then we kind of went down there and tried to, but it's kind of hard. It's like catching lightning in a bottle.
Yes.
When that happens,
Yeah.
because there's so many songwriters and especially in Nashville, and everybody's chasing the same thing, But we were so busy as a band touring and doing our own thing versus just being a Monday through Friday songwriter that it's hard to kind of devote a lot of time. So if somebody wanted to cut one of our tracks, go for it.
And there's two sides to it. Like when we wrote Stay, we were just writing a great song for ourselves. And then you start trying to write a song thinking about, well, what about for this person? And that's just not the way to do it.
That's when you lose it.
You just have to write it in that sense. And the other thing is like people like, well, why did you let them do this? Or why? You don't have to ask permission to cover somebody's song. You can cover anything you want to. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, you look at the credits and the credit still goes to those people. You can cover anything you want to. You just have to have clearance to sell your version.
Yeah.
Like you could cover anything and put it on a platform. And
I think
that's the
they
way
call
that
that a
works.
mechanical license.
Yeah. As long as you're
Through the
paying the
Harry
right
Fox
people,
agency
you're good to go.
for all you musicians
anybody
out
wants
there.
to cover our songs, y'all go right ahead.
Go
okay?
right ahead, cover
Make sure
everything
that-
you like.
Put your
a
credits
mechanical
on there.
license, you're good to go.
That puts you guys in a special group with Nelly with the FGL songs.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hey, we love Nelly.
Ben, there,
He came and played our hometown.
me started.
What,
That's right.
a year ago?
A few years ago.
Yeah.
Sold it out.
Ben, I've been fixated on your sneakers. Can you tell me about the
Yeah.
art? Are they
Sparkly.
doodles? Are they
These
drawings?
are custom-made Vans, and I got these a couple years ago. My wife and I, we
peace
have
sign, they got
3
your
dogs
puppies
now,
on there.
but at the time we just had 2. So this is an illustration of 2 of our dogs, Henry and Clark. And on the back of the shoe, this shoe says Henry. The back of this shoe says Clark. So it's a tribute to my dogs. But then I got to get a new pair with Sonny on there. But then there's a Hawaiian print, American. I don't know. I designed these online, and I wanted the most ridiculous looking shoe you could ever possibly find. A love or hate shoe.
Now, don't let
Yeah.
him downplay it, though. The drawings you see on the side of his shoes, Ben writes children's books and illustrates them himself, and those are 2 of the pups from the books.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Wow.
Thank you for that.
What's the name of your? Is it a book series?
Yeah, the first book is called Good Girl, Sunny Pearl. Because
Okay.
the youngest beagle, her name is Sunny Pearl. So it's a story about how she was bad puppy, but now she's an angel. So it's called Good Girl, Sunny Pearl. And then the second one is called Clark Barks. That's what he does. And now I've got to write the third one about Henry. That's our oldest beagle.
When he's
14.
not busy writing children's books or playing rock and roll, he also has his own clothing company.
Look
Well,
at
we're
you.
not-
Too. He's a Renaissance man.
Apparently.
I like to say stimulated in all forms.
You could take that so many ways.
Mentally stimulated in all forms.
So that's probably what goes on in the tour bus.
We
Wow.
are the most boring
We're
band
designing
you have
shoes and
ever
watching baseball games. That's what happens on that.
That's what
Dude,
happens.
sitting on the back of the bus
Drinking
playing PGA Tour video games.
I'm watching Andy Griffith show.
Are you a golfer?
I'm
We're
trying
getting ready
to learn
to go.
again. I'm trying
As
to
soon as
learn
we leave
again,
here,
man.
hopefully if it don't rain.
I played years ago, hadn't played in about 15 years, and it looks like it's going to rain us out today, but we're looking for a golf sim. Braden's on it. So.
All right, you can
yeah, we
find it.
gotcha.
There's plenty of Sims around here for
Nice.
sure.
Awesome.
All right, well, listen, make sure you head out and see the band tonight. Like I said, they're playing in Quakertown at Univest Performance Center. Show is at 8 o'clock. So
Tomorrow
glad
night.
you guys had some time to come by here. Oh, it's tomorrow night. I'm sorry.
night,
Yes,
yeah.
thank you. Glad you guys had some time to come by here. We really appreciate it. And
Thank y'all for opening up the studio doors.
Yeah,
for
of
us,
course.
man.
Yeah, we got to say a public thank you to you guys and MMR for supporting us and playing this song. The song "Deep" is a very special song for us, and for so many different reasons, it's affecting a lot of people. And so it's an honor that you guys are playing it, and it feels good to be back up here in Philly. And, not a lot of people will wake up in the morning for it, but you guys, you guys.
2 decades later,
You
man.
got it.
Hey, and thank you to all the faithful listeners of your guys' show. We appreciate their support.
No, they're
too.
awesome.
you're getting a lot of great feedback on our text messages. People are really excited.
That's awesome.
If Jason
Thank you,
Kelsey
guys.
messages, tell him what's up.
Head out tomorrow night and see Blackstone Cherry and Ben Shoes, too. Don't forget.
And if you know Kyle Schwarber, bring him out. I'd love to see him. We miss him in Chicago.
Yeah,
We miss
that's
him.
right. Yeah.
All right, thank you guys. Blackstone Cherry.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys.
Chris, Ben, Steve, and John Fred.